Good morning, everybody. So, as you can see, I'm going to be working on the Rambler this week. I already got it up in the air. I want to figure out what the sound coming from the transmission is and get the transmission fluid changed while I'm at it. Probably the differential fluid too. And I've also discovered I think this thing has an overdrive unit. If not, there's something really weird hanging off the back of the transmission with a lever that I don't understand what it's there for. So, and then we will go ahead and discuss the other thing that happened. Yeah. A neighbor wanted to sell it. It's, if I remember correctly, it's a 93 Chevy C1500. Standard cab short bed, 350 small block, and a 5-speed transmission. So it's got the potential to be a bit of a hot rod truck. It's a factory sport truck, which basically means it has everything that the factory SS 454 model had, but the 454. So same wheels and tires, same color combo, same stripes around everything. Basically the same exact truck, but with a small block instead of a big block and a 5-speed transmission. So instead of an auto. It's going to be a minute before we get to doing a lot on this. I think it's actually going to be a relatively simple fix. I think all it needs is either a clutch master cylinder or a clutch slave cylinder. I'm probably going to change them both because you can buy it off of Rock Auto pre-bled, which means that's a lot less dirty. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And after that, I don't know where we're going with it from there, other than probably, well, some new tires all the way around, because those ones are pretty bad, pretty dry rotted. And he was daily driving it that way up until the clutch started acting up. Right now, the clutch feels incredibly stiff and incredibly spongy all at the same time. So like, it's really hard to push, but what you're pushing, it feels like you're pushing against a 45-ton sponge. So I'm hoping by changing out those, maybe the clutch will come back, because it doesn't want to disengage, which normally to me, if a clutch goes out, not only does it not want to disengage, but it normally slips like hell too. And this one does not seem to slip. So it doesn't want to disengage. And if you pump the hell out of the pedal a few times and put it straight to the floor and hold it there, you can get it to slip enough that the truck will stop moving. So again, leads me to believe that it's not the clutch, and it's the either the master cylinder or the slave cylinder, because you start applying more pressure and it starts to work a little bit. So, which is kind of exactly how the MG works when it's running low on fluid. So yeah, but that's a project for another day. Today's project is going to be messing with the transmission on this, and hopefully we're going to get into some more of the wiring too, because I've got a majority of the wiring for the dash figured out, so it's just a matter of doing it. We may be going and getting a, as odd as it's going to sound, a choke cable, because I can use a choke cable to run down to where the lever is on the transmission and try using it that way, because the one that's there seems to be froze. I'm going to assume it's the linkage is froze because I can move it at the transmission. So we'll see what happens. I will bring you guys back when I get a little bit more in depth in what I'm doing and once I figure out exactly what I'm doing. But I figured this was a better place than never to go ahead and start this week's video. So yeah, time for the Rambler. Hey baby, can you bring me the battery? Bring me the battery. Bring it over this way. Go ahead and set it down. Thank you. Well, after a little bit of effort, I have now got the gear oil changed in the Rambler, and I've discovered, I think this thing has an overdrive unit. I think I gotta figure out exactly what I'm dealing with now. So, because that was not something I was expecting to see. I just assumed it was just a standard 3-speed, manual gearbox. It might be a 3-speed with an overdrive unit. I'm not 100% sure. So now I've got to figure out what exactly that big thing is hanging off the side and go from there. If it's overdrive and it works, awesome. If it's overdrive and it doesn't work, awesome. Whatever. It's not like I'm going to be driving this car real fast anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. I just would like to know what I'm messing with, so I know what I'm doing from here on out. Because there's also a drain and fill plug right there on the transmission as well, but I don't think I have a need to do them right now. I could, but that should theoretically all be the same thing. I don't want to pull a drain plug just to drain out what I put in, because that would make me a little upset. So, but as you can see, it's a torque tube car, which is kind of annoying in its own way. Never really quite understood how torque tubes work all that well. It's kind of an oddball setup to me, but it is what it is. So I think from looking at everything, I think the problem with why I can't get into third gear is in fact the adjustments. I think it's all adjusted too low. So the shifter's got to swing down farther than it wants to try to hit third. So I need to bring the shifter handle up on it a little bit so it wants to go down into third all the way, I think. At least that's my basic understanding of how it works. I could be wrong, but that's what we're going to get ready to work on next. I got to drop the front of the car down off the jack stand so I can reach everything to do it. But yeah, we're going to try that next and see what happens. Well, after a few minutes of digging around and looking at the shifter column mechanism and everything, I have come to the conclusion that there is no amount of adjusting I know how to do that is going to make the completely worn out shifter column work. It'll go into first and second, or it'll go into reverse and first just fine, and it'll grab second gear if you hold it there. It will not find third gear at all, and there is just so much slop, there's not any adjustment. The more I try to adjust it to get third gear, the worse second gear gets. So I can't, there's not, for some reason, the shifter won't go down as far as it's supposed to. I think it's partly because the little pins that it all rides on is so worn out it can't push it enough. Like, it gets close and then it just can't do it anymore. There's not enough throw in the arm. So I'm going to have to see if I can find, like, some kind of universal 3-speed shifter, because I can't find a 3-speed shifter that bolts directly to the car that's meant for a 63 Rambler. I can't find one for an AMC in general. So I'm asking on some Facebook groups, seeing what I can figure out, and going from there. So definitely going to involve ordering some parts. There is still a ton of other stuff I'm going to try to go ahead and get done for this video. Like, I know everything I want to get done with the wiring and stuff for the gauge cluster. We also have the water pump up there that needs done. So all of that stuff's still getting done this video. And considering I've got some time before I need to put this video out anyway, I will hopefully find a shifter somewhere before I can put this video out. So hopefully by the end of all this, this will be a more functioning, drivable car, so that I can actually find all 3 gears in. I got to figure it out. I think this thing has overdrive, and I'm not 100% sure. So I got to ask around on a couple of the groups about that as well. So this is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. All right, but for now, I need to go in. I do. and get around to get some sleep for work here before long. So I think me and a little one are going to go inside and watch some cartoons for a little bit before I go to bed, and come back to this in a little bit. I'll keep you guys, next time you see me, we'll be getting something done. Whether it's electrical or something with a shifter, I don't know. But we'll be getting something done either way. Back in a little bit. Alright guys, it's been a couple days since I last filmed anything. And this showed up today in the mail. I ordered the new floor shifter for the old Rambler here. It is a Hurst Indy shifter. I unfortunately don't got a lot of time to talk about it. I'm getting around for work right now, but I figured I would at least pull it out of the box and show you guys quick. Yeah, so that'll be what we're working on the next time I get a shot or a chance to make a video. So, hope you guys like it. Well, guys, this is turning into a bit more of a task than I thought it was going to, but we're getting there. That is the mount bracket bolted, for the most part, to the transmission. After that, I got to figure out how and where I even put it. Well, yeah, there it is, the shifter. I got to figure out how to mount that shifter onto that housing, because it seems like it's only held on by this nut. So I'm hoping that's correct. I don't really know. I feel like that's got to be wrong, but I see no other way to connect it. And each one of those holes is an individual mounting point. So that would lead me to believe that that's how that mounts. And then I have discovered in the process of this that this in fact has an overdrive transmission, which means right where the shift rods need to go, there is there's a overdrive solenoid, a rather large one at that. So I've got to figure out how I can manage to get around that to both shift levers. That's going to be an interesting one, because it almost looks like I got to go over them, but I don't think I can. So, yeah. It's going to be interesting. Well, after a bit of messing around, I got the shifter in and mounted. I still need to get both of the shifter linkages connected. But even with this shifter and the shifter linkages, I still cannot seem to get it to go in third gear, and I don't know why. So now I'm starting to think maybe there's possibly something internally wrong with the transmission, which has me more than a bit concerned, because if that's the case, I don't know where I'm going to find another one. Nor do I know if I even want to fight with finding another one. So that could create an issue. That could be what ends up making this car get sold. Just because if I can't get it in the third, don't matter what I do, the car's still not truly drivable for anything other than literally putting around at cruise night, and even then it's going to be high RPM all the time and just a bit excessive. I really need third gear. Like, I could almost live without second as long as I had first and third, but it's kind of hard to live without third. So, and the bad part is it went in when we first got it. Like, it went into all three gears sitting still, moving just fine. And so this not going into third is a new issue. I thought maybe it was just the sloppy old column shift, but apparently not. But I think that's all I'm going to get done for the night. I think we're going to get ready to go inside and relax. I gotta get cleaned up. So yeah, and a little one needs cleaned up because she's been out here playing in the dirt, playing with her bubbles, made a mess with her water, and then sneezed a bubble apparently. So yeah, hopefully I'll have some good news for you guys tomorrow while I'm working on it. Right now I'm a little depressed. So I mean, considering I paid almost as much for the shifter as I paid for the entire car to try to get this to work, and thus far not looking good. So I was really hoping to have this to where it was a driver by this weekend, but now I'm not holding my breath on it. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, back in a little bit. I've not gotten back out here today to do any more yet, but we did do a little bit of shopping and got the backboard material to make the door cards out of again. And we picked up the material to cover it in. I am not showing you that yet because it made me giggle what we picked. So I think everyone's going to get a kick out of it. Let's just say I might need to get an accessory to mount on the hood to go with them. So it's going to be interesting. So I have made a bit of a decision. I'm going to live with the fact that it only wants to shift in the first and second right now. I already got the fluids changed in the transmission. I'm going to make sure I have overdrive locked out, which could help. That could be part of the reason why it's not wanting to go into third from what I've been told. So if I pull the lever back and lock it out, that might help solve that problem, because it could be the fact it wasn't all the way into overdrive, and since the solenoid's not working, and maybe it's stuck on the on position, something like that, and that's causing part of the issue. So I'm going to just lock out overdrive altogether. All I gotta do is pull the handle back, and basically, like, I'm just going to pull it back and zip tie it right there, because that little lever you can see right here, this is the overdrive. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I can get that all the way down, and I'm going to just zip tie it to there and be done with it. Not 100% sure I actually can right now. I may actually need to try to get under there with the grinder and cut some more of that off, because I don't think that is going all the way out of overdrive. I think that little lip right there is stopping it. So I'm going to have to get under there with the grinder and cut on it a little bit, because that will be an issue overall if I can't get it out of, or I can't lock it out of overdrive because of that. So, and I'm going to throw the other shifter rod on it and call it good. Hang on. Well, after, I think, 2 or 3 days of fighting with it now. That's actually in the car, and it, for the most part, shifts into gears. It's not amazing by any means. Realistically, I think it needs to be installed off of the car so you can look at everything better. But that's as good as it's going to get for now. And I've kind of decided that I'm going to attempt, for right now, to live without third gear. Because going up to cruise night and stuff, I don't know if we'll even need it. Because, well, again, it's cruise night. You go 15, 20 mile an hour at best normally up and down Main Street. That's about all the faster traffic's going to let you get up to. First and second gears pretty much got that covered. And then I think over the winter, when I know I'm not going to be driving this, I'm going to attempt to drop the transmission out of it and maybe take it to a shop to have it rebuilt, and see if that, hopefully that would solve my problem. And while I'm doing that, I'll probably throw a new clutch and maybe a new clutch or at least a new throw-out bearing on it while I have it apart. Because I know part of the noise I'm hearing is the throw-out bearing, but I do believe a lot of it's coming internally from the transmission. I've also attempted to lock out the overdrive. I'm not 100% sure I have it locked out all the way, though. That's the problem. I may need to get under there and do some grinding on that bracket some more to see if that little lever wants to go any further forward. Because I know it shows, or how I watched it work while there was nothing connected to it, it kicks itself out of overdrive every time you put it in reverse. So I can't lock it into overdrive in hopes that that would solve the problem, because it wants to kick itself back out every time you go into reverse. So the only thing I can do is lock it out of overdrive and hope that solves the problem. I've heard that also if you lock it into overdrive, that if you just try to park it in gear, the rear end can free spin somehow. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I guess you lock it into overdrive and the car's not running, it disengages but doesn't disengage overdrive, if that sounds right. I'm not sure. Definitely a big learning curve with that. I may also just see if I can't find another transmission for this thing. That's honestly probably the route I'm going to end up going, is trying to find another 3-speed. So, hey, if you're watching this and you have a spare 63 AMC Rambler 660 transmission, or this is a classic 660. So if you happen to have a transmission laying around, a 3-speed manual for one, let me know. I would definitely be interested in it. Thus far, looking on Facebook, I have not had much luck. So, and I don't know anyone else that messes with these. Although, I think the wife does. The wife knows a guy with one from work. Well, one of them doesn't count. But because he has one, he doesn't have parts. The other one might know where to get parts, though. So, but I think that's where I'm going to stop for the night. Tomorrow's goal is going to be to actually get the rest of the dash put back together. And she's back here working on finishing up the blanks for the door cards. So, getting all the filing done to smooth out the edges. So, let's see here. That's a back. I need a front. This is a front. Have you done everything with these already?
Yeah. Those are all done.
So, take one of these around up to the front of the car. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. Goes in there. Now, we do have material to cover them with, but until she has them done, I'm not showing you the material, because the material makes me giggle. I know I talked about black vinyl or teal vinyl. Wow, you can see all the dust floating around from this crap out here right now. We did not go with either one of those.
We went with the gray.
It's definitely moving the car in a certain direction, I guess. I don't know. I'm just bullshitting all of you. But by now you can't figure out what it is, it's your own fault. But hey, I was right. That thing I found in the trunk is definitely part of the windshield wiper mechanism. I found a part in the trunk earlier. I didn't know what it went to. It is the top of that windshield wiper mechanism right there. That one's complete. It's another top to it. But yeah, so... But that's where we are with things. Like I said, I think we're done for the night. She's finishing up that door panel. We are both tired. I am dirty. She has to work in the morning. So I'm going to try to get at her tomorrow morning. I want to get the dashboard put back together. Get a couple other things done. Get it down, back off the ground again. Get the exhaust done so I can get it off the ground. That'll probably be the first thing I do. So I can get it back off of the jack stands and onto the ground. There we go. There's the words I wanted. Yeah, I think as far as the shifter goes, unfortunately, that's as good as it's going to get, at least while the transmission's in the car. I did kind of wake up with the intention this morning of dropping the transmission out of it, but very quickly decided I did not have the motivation to do that. So it didn't happen. Just because I knew if I dropped it back out, I knew this was going to get shoved outside, and it was going to be 6 months before it got touched again. So... because it was going to take that long for me to get the motivation to try to rebuild the transmission, and I'm not trying to do that right now. I want to keep the car mobile, even if it's just putting it back and forth to advance here and there and things of that nature, until we get the rest of the car done. And then I will be more concerned about the transmission at that point. I am going to do something about the transmission hole, because my God, that's horrid. Obviously, I'm not going to leave it wide open like that. I got some cutting I got to do on that, so I can close up a majority of that hole. Obviously, the shifter's still going to poke through it and everything. And then I got to figure out how I'm going to make the shift boot go on there. It's going to be interesting to get that completely sealed back up. But it is what it is. I'll figure it out. Yeah, that's it for the night, though. See you in the morning. Well, I got the exhaust on. And even with a muffler, this thing still ain't quiet at all. Which is ridiculous for it being a inline 6 that is this loud. But whatever. I'll live with it. I'm fine with it. Doesn't sound bad though when you rev it. Smokes a little bit, but that's to be expected. She's not exactly the happiest of old cars. Alright, that's as good as that's going to get for right now. I'm going to throw the wheel back on. I'll show you the exhaust. Nothing crazy. Obviously right there to where it's coming out. Let's see here. Oh, we got to get down on the ground. There's the muffler. It is a Flow FX by Flowmaster. And the rest of the exhaust. Nothing too crazy, overly simple. It's going to rip. Ah, that got hot real quick. Some bitch. It's probably going to rub a little bit right here, but it is what it is. So definitely going to kind of suck if I want to lower it, but at that point I'm probably going to take it to an exhaust shop. Ow. And get a cherry bomb put in line too to quieten it up a little bit, and go ahead and shoot it over the back axle, or lower it enough that I can just shoot it under the back axle. Either way, one of the two. I have my helper down here too. So, yeah. Well, alright, there we go. That's at least one project I'm somewhat actually satisfied with. Might be the only project this weekend I'm satisfied with on this car, but I'm satisfied with it. Although, when the wife gets home and we can finish the door panels, I'll be extremely satisfied with those too. Oh, you showing everyone the all of our rock auto magnets? Powered by pizza. That sounds about right. It's a little hot out here today, isn't it?
My pool's hot.
Yeah, your pool's hot too? Yeah, it's just hot in general, isn't it?
Oh no!
I got dirt on me?
You see, hot.
Is that better?
Hot. You know?
She's telling me there's dirt and stuff on my face. Okay. Well, how about we get the wheel and tire put back on so we can get ready to drop the car back down on the ground? Does that sound good?
I want to get in my pool.
Do I want to get in your pool? I don't, but maybe Bub will. Is that what we want to do?
Oh, Dad, you want to get for me?
Do you want me to see if Bub will get in with you? Alright, I guess I need to see if Bub will get in the pool. I'll be back. Okay, got her down off the jack stands. I got the back bumper mounted before I went ahead and got it down off the jack stands because it was a little easier to do while it was in the air. The exhaust is on. A little bit of it there is. It's a little close to the tire, but it'll be fine. So, and then we started on some of the interior stuff. As you guys know, I was planning on doing saddle blankets, Mexican blankets, whatever you like calling them. That's my plans for the seats. And well, we started on the door panels today. I showed you earlier where we were cutting out the forms for them. And we got them wrapped today. Like I said, we went with something a little off the wall, a little goofy for the car. But it kind of fits the theme of the blankets because it's a cowhide print, but it also kind of looks like, as you said, it kind of looks like a Palomino horse a little bit too.
Palomino.
Yeah, a spotted Palomino. So it kind of fits the theme, and I've already been joking around now that I might get bull horns for the hood. But
So now we need to come up with a name for it.
yeah, now we got to come up with a name for the thing.
Some sort of farm animal name.
Yeah, I've already kind of started calling it cow patty because, well, it's kind of a pile of shit. So, but yeah. Then I've been talking with a friend who says if I can find the stuff, he can rebuild the transmission for me. So that's probably going to happen this winter, if not sooner. Really depends how everything acts once I get everything more together. The next thing I'm going to work on doing is closing up that hole now. So there's nothing there to cut my leg on. And then I don't know how much more we're going to get done this video just because that took a lot more time to do this shifter than I originally thought it was going to. I'd really like to get the water pump on at least to get rid of one noise and get the rest of the door panels in to show you guys the rest of them. So we'll see. I don't know whether or not it's going to happen because, well, tomorrow morning I'm going over to a place in Pandora, Ohio to get a bunch of parts, hopefully, for the Spitfire. So we'll see how that goes because he said the guy sells a lot of new stuff and has a lot of used parts, according to one of my friends, that goes over and does some work for him here and there. So I'm hoping when I come back from there tomorrow, I have a lot to do to the Spitfire, specifically to clean up the interior. And I believe he said he's got a top that's in really good shape laying over there too, and maybe some rear suspension parts that I need. So hopefully you guys will be seeing another video on that after the video for this, if there's not a video for the Nova in between. So, but now that I've shown you that, I'll finish. This is what we're going to do for the door handles, the pull from inside the car. It'll kind of pop up about like that. We're dyeing them before they go in the car because we've both kind of agreed with the car being a little bit of a light color, this being a fairly light color, and these being a fairly light color. It's too much.
It's
so
too new looking.
It's too new looking. Yeah,
I mean, it is a turd.
So she's going to try to dye them and darken them up a little bit to make them look a little bit more weather beaten per se. So get it closer to, well, that's not the leather. You'll see it when you see it. So, yeah. It's been a long weekend doing this stuff. We've been at it now, I think, for what, 3 days every night after you get off of work, trying to get to this point, and every step has been a fight. Everything I've wanted to do has been a fight. Excuse me, ma'am. You're going to dent my trunk lid. I mean, not that it probably matters, but still. It's one of the only decent panels on the car, dang it. Don't be doing that on camera. Oh my gosh. Showing her diaper off on camera. Now we got to go back here and get away from everything. No, you're the one doing all sorts of things on camera you shouldn't be doing. Silly girl. But she's been out here trying to help Dad. Her and her little sparkle shoes. Be careful, baby. So, alright. We are calling it quits because she has to work for my birthday, and then I'm taking off tomorrow morning before she goes to work to go do the parts for that. So we are spending a little bit of time together tonight for my birthday before she has to go to bed. So I will see you guys later. I got her down off the jack stands and out of the garage, and first and reverse worked great with the new shifter. Second and third, not so much, partly because the the clip that holds the linkage rod to the shifter fell out, and now I'm not sure where it went, so I'm not sure I can put it back together yet. It is always something, and I'm tired of it. But anyway, I don't know if any more is going to happen in this video with it, just because I need some parts, and I'm not 100% sure that the water pump I got for it is the correct one. So I'm going to do some tinkering off camera with that and make sure before I start doing it on camera to record it for you guys to figure out that, oh, hey, it's wrong. So yeah, I don't want to do that and tie up the garage even longer, because I have other things I'd like to work on. Other things. As soon as I can go get some of the parts for it anyway. Because I was going to do that today, but it's raining, so that's not happening. So, I mean, this can go back in the garage. But, yeah, for the moment, it's coming out. I want to get that, and I want to get the garage cleaned up, because it is a disaster from working on this thing non-stop for going on 2 weeks, realistically. So this is my 4th day on my second 4-day stint off, working pretty much primarily on this car. So, because that shifter took up about 3 of the days. And then the wife finished up the wonderful door panels that look freaking cool. So I think these are going to go very well with the seat covering that we're going to do. It is going to be a very good look. I was going to hold off on showing them to you until we had the seats completely done, but since that's not happening in this video, and I can't hide the door panels forever, there they are. Because the goal really was, by the end of this video, to have the seats covered, the water pump changed, the shifter done, and hopefully the shifter was going to fix the shifting issue to where I could start driving this thing more than down to advance and back. So unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen, because I don't know if 35 is a comfortable mile an hour that that it'll do in second gear, and the transmission doesn't exactly sound all that great. So I don't want to go putting a ton of stress on the transmission, just in case it is fixable, whatever is wrong with it. So, like I said, I think this might be the end of it for this week. Not exactly sure how much time I have involved in this video, because I haven't got to film. I've been working way more than I've been filming. because of the fact that everything was in poor locations for filming, and everything took a lot more effort than initially thought. So, yeah, like this shifter took so much more effort in a cramped space to do than I originally thought it was going to. So, yeah, the exhaust turned out okay though, although I feel like I got an exhaust leak at the front, so I need to go through and check all my clamps. Maybe weld some things together instead of just having it half clamped together. Yeah. Alright. There she is. Man, dude, those door panels look cool. That's going to be it for this one. Didn't get as much done as I liked because everything was fighting me. Hopefully next video goes better. I don't know what car it's going to be on. I don't know what it's going to be about. Maybe we'll do something with RC's next video. I don't know. I'll figure out something. But I'm happier with the interior, even though it's not done. It looks at least complete now, which is a good thing. I got to figure out what I want to do around that shifter. That's the other reason why I'm not doing any more for this video. Is I don't know how I want to fix that hole in the floor, because I want to keep everything. I want to keep it all accessible, so I don't want to weld that whole thing shut. But obviously, I don't want to leave a gigantic gaping hole, and there's no shifter boot in the world that's going to cover that whole thing. So I think I'm going to have to try to make something to go around it. I think I'm going to play with some license plates and see what I can come up with. And, you know, to just kind of fit some of the aesthetic of the car. I got a little bit of license plate for the starter switch and everything too. So, more of the whole rat rod thing. I got to figure out whether or not the water pump I actually have is the right one. I did some reading on the description of the one I bought, and I don't think it's the right one now that I'm looking at it a little bit more. Not saying it won't work, but I don't think it's the right one, so I got to play with it a little bit and see if it's going to work or not. Maybe if nothing else, I can take the two that I have, rob the bearings and stuff out of that one to make a good one. We'll try that if nothing else, or I'll just suck it up and buy another one at $150. Ugh. But this is going to be a project. I don't know how much farther we're going to get for a little bit, because I think I'm going to have to pull the transmission out of it and take the transmission to a shop, because I've been looking now for going on about 3 days since I started the whole shifter thing. I can't find another transmission, so I think I'm going to have to pull this one out and have it rebuilt. So I'm going to try to find the stuff to get it rebuilt, because I already talked to one of my friends that can do that kind of work, and he's like, if you can find the parts, I can do it, but good luck finding the parts. So, because talking to some people online, it sounds like the second and third gear synchronizer to go in and out of gear is either really gummed up and not working, or it is failed completely and falling apart. Either one makes sense. Either one's very possible. As you guys have heard on the couple times I've taken you for a ride in it, the transmission has not sounded great the entire time we've been moving it around, so very well that there's something inside of it wrong. But yeah. Alright, enough of my rambling. You guys all have a good week. I will see you next time. Remember, it's about the adventure, not the destination. Try to get out and work on your crap. Hopefully it goes better than this did.